cut all my hair off. Hi there, my name is Bethany and you're watching a Writing Werewolf 5-minute review. Today we're going to be discussing The Threat Below by J.S. Latshaw, which was very kindly sent to me for free to review. I initially went into this with some reservations because I thought it was going to be just sort of run-of-the-mill high fantasy, and the cover and the blurb kind of gave me that impression, and I was like, I've been reading a lot of those lately and I was a bit, okay, we're going to do this again, but not very impartial of me. And normally also I can tell what kind of a review or how much I'm going to enjoy a book by the first sort of couple of chapters, and this one absolutely blew me out of the water. This one was incredible because it's not fantasy at all. It's actually a fairly unique sci-fi concept that I personally haven't seen so far. What happens if we go so far into the future and humanity has destroyed the earth enough through their creations to revert the very last sort of human colony on top of a mountain back to like primitive times? It's interesting to balance that sort of gap that they have in their knowledge. They have all these records of technology and things like that they can't access because they don't have the resources to make any. But about the halfway mark, it becomes clearly sci-fi. It was that sort of revelation and sort of the backstory as to how the world ended up like that, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It was like mind-blowing for me. The main character is Iceland, and she is the daughter of the chief cognate of Mountaintop, this little village on top of a mountain. And she has, her family have basically ruled this village for as long as anyone can remember. And this sort of protected them from the threat below, which is what they call these creatures, except it's been so long that nobody knows if they still exist. And it's a really, really intriguing prospect. But Iceland was a brilliant character. Like, she was... At the start of the novel, she was at like a high, it was kind of like a false peak, and then she comes crashing down from that pretty quickly when she realizes it's all fake. And then once, sort of you get to like the sort of halfway point of the novel, or even like about maybe like a third of the way in, she starts to like rise again. Her development starts to pick up again, and her final sort of climax, she's a completely different character. But it's totally justified as to how she got there. And I really liked that sort of aspect of it, the fact that she completely changed. I really liked that, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, and the other thing about Iceland is that when you first go into this novel, you sort of feel like, oh, okay, there's a love triangle here between Iceland, Torrin, and Adirane. But I thought Latshaw did a really good job of like subverting that sort of love triangle trope. The two guys become friends and they become closer than either of them actually are to Iceland. It's really interesting. Like, a lot of the time when you see a love triangle, both of the options for the main character are just exactly the same, just slightly different. It's just like the same but to the left, but both Torrin and Adirane had really like distinct and unique personalities that like suited them. They were both complementary to Iceland in their own way, and I liked that. Like, I could see it working with either of them, to be honest, towards the end, not at the beginning. There were a few things. I mean, I rated this book 5 stars because I thought the concept was absolutely incredible, and it took me totally by surprise. If a book can do that, then it deserves 5 stars. But there were a couple of things that sort of annoyed me a little bit. So like, there's a lot of it is to do with how it's written, and not like anything to do with like character development or plot holes or anything like that. At the beginning, first couple of chapters, there's a lot of brackets, like parentheses, like put in that aren't needed. Like, for example, there's like pronunciation guides for, I think there's like 2 names, and I feel like if you're going to do that, just, add like a section at the end, have a pronunciation guide at the end, and just put everybody's names in, because there were some names that I was like, I think I know how to pronounce these, but I'm not entirely sure, and I would have appreciated like proper, if you're going to do it for 2 names, you may as well do it for the rest of them. But yeah, there was a lot of information that wasn't needed in the brackets. Like, it was like, it would fit in fine with a paragraph. It would be separated out by like the brackets, and I didn't think that was necessary. I didn't think it was fantastically important to have that separated. It would have fit in fine. It wasn't like extraneous information or anything. Oh, the other thing that kind of bugged me was that it was done sort of alternating chapters. So like, you'd have like a first person present tense would be Iceland telling the story, and then the next chapter would be third person past tense. And I mean, the shift from first person to third person was fine. It was a little bit weird because sometimes Iceland was in the third person chapters, and I didn't think necessarily all of them needed to be third person. I think if Iselin was there, they could have been first person, but it was fine. It was the changing of tenses that kind of threw me a little bit. I mean, none of these things impacted my enjoyment of it that much. The one thing I did absolutely love about this book is that it took, though it was sci-fi, it still had, like aspects of oral storytelling, like passing stories through generations and things like that. And it also had like corruption of, oh, she's gone. It had like corruption of like corruption stories into religion, and it had like this beautiful parallel with Greek mythology, which is my favourite kind of mythology, and second favourite kind of mythology. But it had this absolutely beautiful parallel that I can't explain without giving anything away. But it was just a stunning piece of sort of imagery, and when you sort of step back and you sort of see it, you're like, that's it. That I loved it. Like, it is kind of spelled out in the text at one point, but I kind of saw it before that, and I was like, this is just a fantastic piece of imagery and such a nice like concept to be able to draw parallel to. So that's my review of The Threat Below by J.S. Latshaw. I will attach my written review and the Amazon and Goodreads links for this book down below in the description. If you'd like to check out my other 5-minute reviews, you can check out this playlist, which will be linked in the cards. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at WritingWerewolf and at WritingWerewolf.reads respectively. If you liked this video, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and give me a wee thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It really makes my day when I see that. Thank you for watching. Bye!